Good morning. Our next guest is Aria Pelikan from John Weldon. I just want to say we're thankful to have this opportunity. It's because of all the work that each and every one of you do every single day that the opportunities start in big-time first graders and they end up in high school doing these great things we talked about today. So thank you. This is Aria Pelikan.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to see all of you. Today I'm going to share with you my favorite parts of school. Let's start with my favorite habit. My favorite habit is habit number 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. I'm going to tell you a story about my brother, Michael Joe, and our friend, Josie. My brother and Josie were trying to have a conversation, but they got in an argument instead, so I introduced to them the habit number 5, and then I said it the normal way, but they didn't understand what that meant. So I said what it meant, and then they still didn't listen, so I let them be. And that is why this is my favorite school, and my brother is going to learn the habits like I did in kindergarten. I love school because Miss Dunscombe is nice. I like PE. And I like Mr. Marino in art because he calls chairs hammers. Thank you for having me. Now I would like to hand it back to Dr. Sloan.
He is a great example of what Francis Howell's home, school, and community partnership can be. It helps students become their best. I give you from the Francis Howell High School class of 2014, Eric Lee.
Hey, Mr. Chair. Hello, hello. Is it loud? I can't hear me. Okay, great. Hey, Mr. Chair. How's your knee? I hope it's feeling better. All right, let's get started. Morning, y'all. My name is Eric Lee, and I'm honored to be speaking here today. For those of you who don't know me, I graduated in 2014 from Francis Howell High School, and I'm about to begin my second year at the University of North Carolina. This means I've started to use the word y'all. I know it's not like proper grammar and it's probably not optimal for public speaking, but just bear with me, okay? My major is undecided as of now, though I have a wide range of academic interests like computer science, education, entrepreneurship, photography, and toasted ravioli. Also, I apologize in advance if I doze off. Like Dr. Sloan mentioned, I just got back from India at a 2-month internship at Shanti Bhavan Children's Project, which is a school in rural Bangalore for children of lower castes. And you know, I'm still a little bit jet lagged. But even though I'm feeling a little funky, I already miss being at Shanti Bhavan. It was one of the most meaningful and transformative experiences that I've ever had. And as I took responsibilities in the classroom and the administration office and even in the kitchen, I gained a lot of insights into the world of education. It's like your world. And if you'll bear with me, I'd like to share with you a couple of the things that I learned. First, I want to address the teachers, especially the ones that had the misfortune of having me in class. Man, teaching is a hard job. I never knew how much work it took to plan every lesson, every single day, down to the minute. I never knew how difficult it was to hold every student to a high standard, especially when high standards look different for all of us. And this one goes out to my English teachers. Grading essays is almost as hard as writing them. Secondly, I want to talk to the administrators. There's a funny little rule called Murphy's Law that dictates that everything that can go wrong will go wrong. And normally they use it in computer science and like safety testing for seatbelts and stuff like that. But I think it applies equally well in administration. It's a really tough gig that you have, trying to call every shot and make sure that you put out all the fires, and hopefully none of them start every single day anyways. Also, now that I've been on the other side of the disciplinary process, I made a shocking discovery. Administrators are people too. Yeah. Now, I've already mentioned the teachers and the administrators, and these are the people who we traditionally think of as educators. These are the people that voters think are making too much money, and the people who we imagine when we think of a school. But as I learned, and as you all know, we depend on so many more people to make our schools work. These people often work behind the scenes, and they usually do their job so well that we don't even know they're there. I mean, think about it. Someone has to be there when a student gets hurt on the playground. I mean, someone has to order food to the cafeteria before they cook it every day. And as I learned, someone has to make sure that the Wi-Fi is working all day long. It's a tough job. Can you imagine what it would be like without all of these people? The system would be completely derailed. And we saw that a bunch of times in India. But at each of our schools here at Howell, we have great people who make sure that these jobs get done, and they make sure that the job gets done right. Of course, this isn't to say that everything is perfect in our schools. I've made my fair share of complaints against my teachers, whether they deserved it or not. And I've definitely taken issue at times with the administration. Where's Dr. Wedlock? But anyways, those experiences have really only better prepared me for what's ahead. Looking back, my education at Francis Howell didn't just teach me some grammar skills, historical dates, and physics equations, although those helped. It taught me the values of focus and discipline. It taught me how to interact with all kinds of personalities and backgrounds. And it taught me how to leverage resources and work productively with people in power. In short, my education taught me how to be me. But that didn't just happen out of nowhere. Having that kind of impact takes meticulous planning and unrelenting effort, not only on the part of the teachers, but on the part of every single person involved, from the lunch ladies to the security guards to the custodians, from the librarians to the nurses to the upper administrators. With all your hard work, you give students a place to grow, to explore, and to discover. And despite the conflicts and the frustration that you educators often face, y'all are helping students like me. You're sharpening our minds and influencing our futures. And most importantly, you're giving us the opportunity to realize our dreams. And y'all are doing a really good job. So keep it up. Thank you.
I have been a student my entire life. My earliest memory is my mom teaching me how to make egg rolls with lumpia wrappers and vegetables. Every year, I aspire to learn one new skill. This means that I can juggle bowling pins, I can speak a little German, Guten Morgen, and one audacious year, I learned how to country line dance. Really, I can do a great boot scoot and boogie. I have a potpourri of random skills that I may never need to use, but have enjoyed learning them nonetheless. Since I like learning so much, becoming a teacher was a logical fit, right? Not at first. After junior year of college, I had no idea what to do with my life. I had always enjoyed school, so I figured an education class was worth a try. To my dismay, It did not live up to the glamorous image in my mind of what it would be. I had to do observation hours at local schools, and I saw teachers giving lessons on things that, to me, were painfully obvious in a painfully slow operation. Teaching seemed like being trapped in Alcatraz. And with that, I dismissed the idea of becoming a teacher. Later that year, I got word that my high school band director, Bill Schraft, unexpectedly passed away. That made me very sad, as my favorite memories from high school revolved around music. I made the trip home to Chicago for the funeral, thinking I could pay a quick visit. When I got to Mr. Schraft's service, to my surprise, the line of visitors stretched outside the door. After an hour waiting in line, I finally got to the casket and saw a mountain of flowers, cards, and pictures from students of his 30 years of teaching. His legacy was his staunch belief in the very best of his students, even when we couldn't see it ourselves. He affected so many people while teaching in a place I had just called Alcatraz. I told myself, I want to make this kind of difference. I want to be a teacher too. Mr. Schraft wasn't my only inspiration. On a daily basis, my brother Andy, who has a mental handicap, reminds me of the transformative power of a simple and kind act. Every day since I can remember, Andy has given me a big hug when he sees me. The reason is mysterious. He may not know any better, or perhaps he likes to imitate the families hugging on television. Yet the simple act of kindness brightened the worst of my childhood days. He challenges the conviction that people with mental handicaps have no value in our society. To me, he is comfort and familiarity, gentleness yet imperfection, and I strive to let my students and the world know how much others like him are worth. Mr. Schraft may have been the reason I went into teaching, but Andy is the reason I'm still here. Education is a multifaceted, oftentimes frustrating road. Testing and reform can feel like a handcuff on our curricula, along with the immense pressure from stakeholders for students to score proficiently on standardized testing. Despite all this, the foundation of our profession remains unchanged. We make the difference whether a child is literate, compassionate, self-respecting, or not. Every opportunity to educate a child is an honor. Sometimes an act of creativity can make all the difference. For me, it's my flute playing. Playing Las Mañanitas brightens a student's birthday, and The Impossible Dream enhances my Don Quixote unit. I'm not saying we should bring instruments to class, but I do think we each have a unique and creative gift that we can bring to our students. Every new generation of student brings change, and it's important for us to stay relevant. We teachers have to network with each other. My best lesson plan ideas have not just come from fellow language teachers, but also at the lunch table, talking to math, history, and business teacher friends. In addition to this, we need to gather resources from Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter. Let's work together and find innovative ways to pick the interest of the modern student. Let's support programs like band, chorus, theater, and world language that foster creativity and teach skills the core subjects cannot. Every once in a while, I'll go jogging. It's another thing I learned to love during my adult years. When I'm exhausted and need one last burst of energy, I remind myself of my brother Andy's favorite chants: heart, 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 heart. It's the place from which our best teaching comes, and it is what will keep us moving when we feel we can't go much further. Teaching with heart means teaching with inspiration, creativity, and perseverance. It's so important to teach with heart, and this year I challenge you to do the same. Our students deserve it. Paulo Coelho once wrote, "Recuerda que donde esté tu corazón, también estará tu tesoro." Which means, remember that wherever your heart is, there will also be your treasure. Please make sure that your treasure and your heart is in your teaching this year. Muchas gracias por su tiempo. Buena suerte este año.